Hey, this is Jonathan Ariel with a short video about how to set up a Moodle course. Now, to actually complete the steps that I'm going to show you in this video, you would need to have a Moodle account yourself. For my system, I'm the Moodle administrator, and so if you ask me for a teacher Moodle account, I would email you some login information, and when you log in, you're going to see that I've already created a course for you. So that course right here is grayed out, and that's Moodle's signal to you that you're the only one who can see this course right now. It's hidden to every other user. So we'll click on this course, and then the course page loads. Now, over on the left, there are a lot of buttons that are going to be very useful, and you can make them go away when you want to hide them, and you can click back on that button again to bring them back. Moodle is really good at hiding things from you until you actually need them at a given moment. Now, the default layout for Moodle is this weekly format, and I confess that I've never used it. I'm sure it's awesome, but I like to organize my course by units, and I'll show you how to make that change in a minute. So for now, we have some things to set up for this course, and these are the things you really only have to do once, unless you decide you want to change them later. Now, if you see the settings button over here in the top right, we're going to press that, and then a menu shows up. Now, at the top of that list is Edit Settings, and that's where we want to go. But this is one of the most confusing things about Moodle in the beginning, so let's get it now. If you see this Turn Editing On, that's the next item in the list, well, that's for editing things that are on this actual page. Now, I wish the top item was Edit Course Settings, because that's what we want to do. So I'm going to press that. And if you notice here, the page now says we're on the Edit Course Settings page. So this is where you can change the name of your course, and you can make it anything you like. Moodle also needs a short course name, and it'll build that into various places in your course. Just make it an abbreviation or something that means something for your course, and if you realize later that you want to change it, you can always come back here and make that happen. Now, the next thing in the list is course category, and I may have already set this for you. It really just helps organize things on Moodle. Next up is course visibility, and that should be set on hide, but if I click it, you can see it also has a show option. When you actually want your course to go live and be visible to students, you need to come back here and make it say show. Now, course start and end date, they aren't really anything that I use, and that goes for course ID number as well. Let me scroll down just a little bit. I'll leave the course summary and the course image blank, but you could type things in there if you wanted to. I think I noticed once that the summary showed up every time a student logged in, and I just like to keep things simple and streamlined. So let me scroll on just a little bit. And then we're going to expand course format. Now for the format, the default is weekly, and I really prefer the topics format. Now that caused the page to refresh, so let's look at the new options. Now under the hidden sections, I have it marked to be completely invisible. The other option is that you can show them in collapsed form, and that's totally okay too. I like the invisible because if you have 10 units and you have them all collapsed except for one, the other 9 are going to show up just as basically a heading. And so I like the streamlined view where the only units that a kid can see are the units that we're currently working in. So I'm going to leave that on completely invisible. Now, if you had 2 units open at the same time, this setting for course layout would show both of those units on one page. There would be one above the other. Or you could switch it over to one per page, and there would be kind of a tab effect inside of Moodle to switch back and forth between each of the units. So I'm going to leave it on one page for now. So I can collapse that, and then I'm going to open up Appearance. Now there are a few settings in here. Moodle has a theme. It just affects the way Moodle looks. If you want your course to look like the main Moodle theme that you've already seen, choose Do Not Force. You can experiment with the other themes if you want to later, but do realize that many students have more than one course in Moodle, and making them navigate through 2 separate themes isn't very kind. Now for the number of announcements, I choose 0 for that. I just prefer Google Classroom for communicating with students for these kinds of things. For Gradebook, leave that visible to students so that they can check their grades on individual assignments. And then for activity reports, I usually leave that set on No. As a teacher, you always have access to the gradebook and activity reports, and those reports are incredibly useful, but I'll save that for a later video. So we're going to skip over files and uploads and come down to completion tracking, and we want to open that and make the Enable Completion Tracking, make that say yes. Now, you don't have to use this at first, but it'll make an option show up on your course activities as you create and edit them, and it wouldn't be there if you don't click yes now. So say for example you want a review quiz to open, but you only want it to open if a student made an 85 or better on a practice quiz. Well, you can only do that if you have that setting here set to yes. Now, the last thing for this video, we're going to set something in the Groups menu. So let me open that and scroll down a little bit. For group mode, we're going to choose Separate Groups. Groups have a lot of different meanings in Moodle, but the first place you're probably going to come across it is you'll probably want to set up different groups for your classroom sections, like a first period group and a second period group. So you'd make a group for those two sections, and then with this setting set on separate groups, let's say you go to the gradebook to look at the results of a quiz, well, you can now filter the results based on which class you want to look at right then. Now, I've just got one more thing to mention. It's a peculiar thing about Moodle. Say you were on this page right now, and you wanted to go back a page to the main course page. Well, do not click on the back browser button. Moodle usually generates an error message when you try that. So you could press cancel here, or you could click right on the course name, and that would take you back to the previous page and everything would be fine. But for now, let's save these changes and display them. And so that button took me back to the course main page. So now we're back on the course main page, and we have a lot of blank topics that can be set up as units. The next video in the series will be a tour of the major features on this page and how to change things. After that, I'll show you how to write some Moodle questions and assign them to a quiz. For now, thanks for watching.